Here is a curated selection of high-yield economics questions with detailed answers and explanations for the IAS preliminary examination, organized by core chapters. Chapter 1, Money and Banking, Monetary Policy, Q1. With reference to the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, and monetary policy, consider the following statements. An increase in the bank rate generally indicates that the central bank is following an easy money policy. If the RBI decides to adopt an expansionary monetary policy, it will reduce the cash reserve ratio, CRR, and repo rate. Conducting open market operations, OMOs, by buying government securities is part of the RBI's sterilization process to absorb excess liquidity. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 3 only, B. 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, D. 1, 2, and 3. Answer, B. 2 only. Detailed explanation. Statement 1 is incorrect. An increase in the bank rate makes borrowing expensive for commercial banks, signaling a tight, contractionary monetary policy, not an easy money policy. Statement 2 is correct. An expansionary monetary policy aims to increase liquidity and stimulate economic activity. The RBI does this by cutting the repo rate, CRR, and statutory liquidity ratio, SLR, making loans cheaper and more accessible. Statement 3 is incorrect. While open market operations, OMOs, are used for sterilization, buying government securities injects liquidity into the market. Sterilization to absorb excess liquidity involves selling government securities. Q2. Which one of the following is likely to be the most inflationary in its effect? A. Repayment of public debt. B. Borrowing from the public to finance a budget deficit. C. Borrowing from commercial banks to finance a budget deficit. D. Creating new money to finance a budget deficit. Answer, D. Creating new money to finance a budget deficit. Detailed explanation. When the government creates new money, deficit financing, monetizing the deficit, it directly increases the overall money supply in the economy without a corresponding immediate increase in goods and services. Borrowing from the public or commercial banks merely transfers existing purchasing power from private entities to the government, whereas fresh money creation adds brand new purchasing power, making it the most inflationary mechanism. Chapter 2, Public Finance and Budgeting, Q3. With reference to public finance in India, consider the following statements. Capital receipts either create a liability or cause a reduction in the assets of the government. Disinvestment proceeds and market borrowings are classified under capital receipts. Interest received by the government on loans granted to state governments is classified as a capital receipt. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, D. 1, 2, and 3. Answer, A. 1 and 2 only. Detailed explanation. Statement 1 is correct. Capital receipts are financial transactions that either lead to a future obligation, liability, like loans, or reduce existing government holdings, assets, like selling PSU shares. Statement 2 is correct. Market borrowing increases government debt liability, and disinvestment reduces government-owned equity assets. Both are capital receipts. Statement 3 is incorrect. Interest earned on loans granted is a routine income that neither reduces assets nor creates liabilities. Therefore, it is a revenue receipt, not a capital receipt. Recovery of loan principal, however, is a capital receipt. Chapter 3, Inflation and National Income. Q4. Disguised unemployment generally means A. A large number of people remain unemployed in urban sectors. B. Alternative employment opportunities are completely absent. C. The marginal productivity of labor is 0. D. Productivity of all agricultural workers drops uniformly. Answer, C. The marginal productivity of labor is 0. Detailed explanation. Disguised unemployment occurs when more people are employed in a work than are actually needed, commonly seen in Indian agriculture. Because removing a worker does not reduce total output, the contribution of that extra worker, marginal productivity, is effectively 0. Q5. Consider the following statements regarding inflation measures in India. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, assigns a higher weightage to food products compared to the Wholesale Price Index, WPI. The Wholesale Price Index, WPI, does not capture price variations in the service sector, whereas CPI does. The RBI uses WPI as its headline measure to decide benchmark policy rates. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2, and 3. Answer: A. 1 and 2 only. Detailed explanation. Statement 1 is correct. Food carries a weight of approximately 45.8% in CPI combined, whereas in WPI it accounts for around approximately 24.4%. Statement 2 is correct. WPI measures price changes at the wholesale transaction level for physical goods only, manufactured items, primary articles, fuel. Services, health, education, transport are excluded from WPI but included in CPI. Statement 3 is incorrect. Following the recommendation of the Urjit Patel Committee, the RBI switched from WPI to CPI combined as its key measure of inflation for monetary policy targeting. Chapter 4. External Sector and Foreign Trade. Q6. Which of the following best differentiates foreign direct investment, FDI, from foreign portfolio investment, FPI? A. FDI brings physical capital and long-term management control, whereas FPI is primarily short-term speculative capital in financial assets. B. FDI only targets public sector undertakings, whereas FPI targets private companies. C. FPI is non-repatriable, whereas FDI profits can be easily transferred abroad. D. FDI is regulated by SEBI, whereas FPI is regulated directly by the Ministry of Commerce. Answer: A. FDI brings physical capital and long-term management control, whereas FPI is primarily short-term speculative capital in financial assets. Detailed explanation. FDI, foreign direct investment, involves direct ownership or controlling stakes in an enterprise, usually 10% or more equity, accompanied by technology transfer and management participation. It is relatively stable and long-term. FPI, foreign portfolio investment, refers to investments in financial assets like shares, bonds, or mutual funds without direct management control. FPI capital is highly volatile, hot money, and can be withdrawn quickly during global economic shifts. How would you like to proceed with your UPSC economics preparation? Practice 5 more high-yield MCQs on external sector and BOP. Get a complete subject-wise economic strategy and book list.